Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, it's just a little comicsgate rant today, in a rant about the pandemic and stuff, and in a hangout too. If anybody wants to come in, I think I can just put the link down in the description. I don't know. Can I do that? I don't know if I can. I don't know if I know how to do that here. I used to know how to do it, but I'm using YouTube Studio Classic still. I'll have to figure that out, but you can maybe I'll put my phone number up, and you can call in. I'll put it on speakerphone. But I'm watching this. Basically, I got my tooth fixed. Everything's cool. It's it's yanked, is what it is. But so I'll be back to drawing pretty soon. And here, let me turn the light on. I'm watching Americans flounder around. Here, should I put this on? I'm watching Americans flounder around. Oh, it's magic. All right, so I got that stuck in my head because I just heard it. But anyway, there we go. I got my Sharia law mask on. But anyway, I'm watching Americans flounder around in the pandemic, and I don't know. It's like I see these protests. I see these protests where where people are basically begging for their rights back. To go out, and the police just muscle them, just push, and they're all like, and they can't. And of course, if you do anything, if a police puts his hands on you, that's fine. But if you were to be like, hey, oh, that's assault and battery on a cop. So this mess is finally getting shut down. And I'm kind of loving watching it. And they're like, please, Al Capone. Americans are like, please, Al Capone, please restart the country. Please don't arrest us for going out to the park with our kids. Please, Al Capone, can we have our rights, please? That's the average American now, which teenagers died for this country, right? Teenagers died for your freedom. And it's like this country, Americans just spit right in their faces and beg for their rights that they've already been fought for. The rights have already been fought for. But now that it's your own government taking them away, nobody knows what to do about it. And I'm just laughing. It's because it's absurd. I mean, if I didn't laugh, I would cry. All right. I mean, so I'm watching Americans beg for their rights back, and it's unbecoming. Meanwhile, on the other hand, it's like all everybody did was complain about this mess, and now that it's finally getting shut down, everybody wants to restart the mess again. Well, except for the liberals, but they pretty much made the mess, and now they will sit around and collect welfare and SDI and complain about the rich white man. Even the poor white ones, you know what I mean, will still hate rich white men. Which, a lot of the problems I will admit are caused by rich white people. But on the other hand, it's not like all evil stems from white people. But what I'm trying to say is the left that made the mess in this country by breaking up the family, saying all men are bad, making it so that women basically raise all the children out of wedlock, and the men just get beat up and put in jail cells and pay money that the women can be going and getting her nails and hair done. The judge doesn't care as long as he's making his percentage off the child support. When you already pay taxes for poor people and single moms and widows, right? You already pay. Now your wife just decides to leave you, or no, you have sex. You look for a wife and you play the dating game, And I was watching this guy. He's pretty much facing prison. He's in debt. Can't find a job, especially now in the pandemic. imagine, imagine. I'm very lucky. I mean, to have not gone to prison for child support. You know what I'm saying? Because I have family and friends that look out for me, and my mother helped me get a good job in a small town. It's like, oh, got it. Being good, it doesn't matter in a small town. It matters if like you're the judge's son or the sheriff's son, you know what I mean, or the sheriff's daughter or the fucking mayor's daughter. You know what I mean? That's what matters, in a small town. Or being even smart or good at what you do, you'll get shamed. They'll find some reason to discredit you and screw you over. I mean, the mess, this whole mess. So basically, you have to rely on nepotism. It's like nothing. So I haven't gone to prison, but my point is, this guy's like facing prison. He wasn't out. He wasn't even out there just having sex with every woman he could get his hands on. He was looking for a wife. He met a girl, made her show him her birth control. He was like, no sex unless you have birth control. So this is a story I heard recently. This guy was telling in the manosphere. So she went, and this is America now. So she went and stole her sister's birth control, showed it to him, and then he had sex with her one time, and she got pregnant, and now he's facing prison. And that's America, and that's why. You know what? These artists that have families, and you're like, hey, where's all the money going? Like, these famous artists that have already pretty much screwed up the mainstream comic industry. Now they're here to screw up comicsgate. Which is why all that money that you're throwing at them is just going to disappear into their wife's vagina and up their wife's nose. You're like, oh, she's so sweet. Oh, you guys are so awesome. And then if I know America, this comic artist is like, yeah, no, I'm a good artist, and then fucking, and you're sending him hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then his wife's snorting coke, you know what I'm saying, and buying, I'm telling you, and everyone's like, whoa, where's all this money going? Or some artists are probably smoking crack, smoking meth. I mean, if I know America. Because the scum go right to the top in this country. And another thing that people don't seem to understand, like Americans are basically like blind, deaf, dumb. Americans are like blind, deaf, dumb babies, like babies with their eyes sewn shut and their ears cut off, basically. And their tongues. I mean, but just basic, and just like in their arms and legs amputated, just completely, so that a wolf can just come up and snatch them. You know what I mean? Without a fight. That's pretty much the average American now. And so comic skater, what comic book fans, I just hate to, I'm trying to be honest. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I really love people. I don't just say I love people and then take your money and then buy my wife a $45,000 car, because I don't have a wife, because I know better in this. You are signing your death warrant literally these days. Men are not allowed to have children in this country by law, or have money and children at the same time. It's not allowed. If you have money, it's the courts and the lawyers, and it's the woman's. But anyway, and kids, you know what I mean? Forget about it. But I'm just saying. So comic skaters have no idea. They have no idea that Marvel and DC will dispatch piece of crap artists that have already ruined. You don't understand that we're up against evil, just absolute evil, and evil isn't like you were trying to escape in their comic book. They're controlling. They'll do whatever it takes, sell their soul for right here and now. And they took the battle to the churches and won, and they've taken the battle to the right-wing conservatives and have won. You understand what I'm saying? and they took it to the Hollywood and entertainment and won, and they've taken it into comic books. And you don't understand, they will dispatch artists into comicsgate to take all of your money and give you not and make you wait years for one comic book, or never even come out with the comic book, just take your money so that they can ruin comicsgate too. Do you understand? This is like full spectrum control. So you really gotta, I mean, these, you got, I mean, it's almost like, I'm just, anybody have any Nebulord says they need Walter Cronkite to tell them what's important. It's not even that. We've already been told what's important by our founders. See, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you said that. What they've gotten the right to do, what they've gotten. Okay. I'm a news junkie from way back. All right. And I did a lot of research into, quote, conspiracy theories and all that. And I've done a lot of research into the techniques that the government uses. And one of the techniques is to catch you in an endless debate. Okay. Oh, it's like, how can I'm just trying to think of a good example. They want you to be in an endless debate about stuff we already know. There's no debate. You know what I mean? Like the anti-family courts, there's no debate there. They make money. The system makes money splitting men up. They won't let women who are on, they won't give like welfare to a whole family. They'll tell the woman you get more money if there's no man in the household. She gets rid of the man, says whatever she has to do, says he raped the kids, basically. He's trying to fight his way out of prison for 5 years, never mind go see his kids. And then she gets more money, and so they just pay these women more money, and instead of just giving a whole family that's in need. Like, I would rather my tax dollars go to the father, to tell you the truth, because men are generally more fiscally responsible than women. Not all, but generally speaking, women want like 15,000. Women are a lot of times the one that want to keep up with the Joneses. But what you'll notice is that narcissistic, sexually driven, materialistic men will be let through the gates to the top. The few of them, like the Charlie Sheens and the fucking, you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like a lot of these guys who are high up in comicsgate, they have that I don't care, I don't give a crap attitude. That used to be a loser attitude in America, to think like that. But they made that the status quo with shows like 2.5 Men. To purposely, this is absolute warfare. And now, everybody's all of a sudden uncomfortable now because of this pandemic, and it's not business as usual. Okay. So I'm basically kind of like rejoicing, going, yay. Now everybody's, this is worse than 9/11. Everybody's waking up now. And it's not, business as usual is not flying anymore. But they try to get you in an endless debate. Like, I don't know, did they violate our there's a good example. When it says absolutely the government is not to infringe on your Second Amendment right, they infringe on it. And then there's a big endless debate of whether, did they infringe on it or not? I don't know, did they? Well, or the endless debate about racism. Instead of, what are we going to do right now? Because here's the deal. Right now, America has two choices, right? To either reorganize. I don't see this, I got 2 viewers. That alone proves to me that this country's in deep trouble, because I'm telling it like it is. So there should be 20,000 viewers on here right now listening to this. You should be telling all your friends, because this is the real truth. So, yeah, or the endless debate on racism. Well, I tuned into the Hake Report today, and they're still talking about the Civil War and Nazi Germany, right? When right now America has 2 choices. We're actually finally free. Okay, this pandemic has set everybody free from the beast system. Whoever begs to go back to it, you're selling your soul. I'm telling you right now. You've been set free right now, and we have the choice now. But America can't be couch junkies and sit there and be like, yeah, can you send the pizza? Yeah. Oh, can you send a 6-pack too? Yeah. Oh, the football game's on. Oh, yeah. And you can't have convenience on every corner unless they're gonna release like godlike technology to the public instead of exterminate us with it. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm sure they have like godlike technology where humanity could basically retire. I think they would rather turn this place into a living hell. I think we're run by absolute horrible people from what I've seen, how families have been devastated and just, this country's been absolutely devastated. But poison in the food, mercury in the vaccines, fluoride in your fluoride, sodium fluoride, not calcium fluoride, but basically, yeah, like rat poison, basically in your toothpaste and in your water, in your canned food, and so. Those are the people that you're going to trust to give you this technology. So America could reorganize right now. All these people, all you that been complaining that want to be pro-family, could right now take your rights back, get together, let me tell you something. The police are going to still try to make you lick their boots. So because the police are the enforcers. All these corrupt leftist liberals would have no teeth if the police didn't enforce it all. Do you understand? There's good cops. No, the police do what they're told by their masters. They have the actual blood on their hands. So we'd have to tell the police, F off. Basically, we're going to have farms and chickens and families, and we're going to grow whatever we need to grow, and we're going to, have deep water wells, and we're going to spread out. We're going to take some of that quote state land that you guys have been deforesting, and you know what I mean, just keeping us cooped up in these. It's almost like you at home putting 20 rats putting 50 rats in a 20-gallon tank or something like that, and they start eating each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're doing with us, and and we're penned into these societies where you're forced to be a part of the system that is basically, there's no stop. You can protest all you want. Your very existence alone is perpetuating this machine. Police are not here to protect you. They're here to while you say, hey, I pay support and I haven't seen my kids in 2 months. So they're supposed to protect your rights, right? What I was told when I told that to a police officer like a couple times now was, yeah, no, I know. They're like, no, I'm not saying what you're saying isn't, the police play both sides, but when it comes down to it, they're going to bust your head open. You're going to smile. You're not going to complain about it either. You're going to smile and you're going to like it, or you're going to get your head busted open on the concrete. They're going to stomp your brains out, and they're going to go home and eat dinner because it's not happening to their kid. Their kid's not caught up in the foster care system. The judge's kid isn't caught up their kids are going to Ivy League colleges and becoming cops. The cops' kids are becoming cops and running all the drugs. The uppie, dude, I know so much about what goes on with the police. They basically run all the gangs. Why do you think certain drug houses just stay open forever? Because the police because those are the ones run by the police and the courts and the gang. And if you get high enough in the gangs, you start finding out who the police are that are involved with the gangs, and then they either kill you, and they call it, oh, there was a gang shooting again, and we need to take your there was a gang shooting again, and we need to take your Second Amendment rights. you know, they basically kill you, you know what I mean, or they throw you in prison. You ain't becoming no, you know, it's the sheriff's son that's going to be dealing the fucking drugs and pimping the hose, not you. So I mean, I'm telling you what, man, I'm having so much fun right now. I'm not the one I used to be the one belly aching. I would talk to anybody in line. If you were standing next to me in line, you'd be like, "Oh God, won't this guy shut up?" And now everybody else is belly aching, and I got my mask on, and I got a grin from ear to ear. I'm like smiling. It is incredible. And yeah, the police are handing your so-called missing kids. Yeah, the police are handing them off to judges in the cemetery. So the judge can go home and do whatever he's got to do, and even if he's going to kill that kid, and when he's done, so that nobody finds out. And then and basically, you know, I believe the judges, a lot of them are in the Masons, and you know, I saw an ad for the Masons on Facebook a couple times, and I just wrote a comment. I was like, it says something about if you search enough, the truth, you know, you'll find the truth, and then it's like the Mason, you know, the American Masons or something like that, right? And I wrote a comment. I'm like, oh, so much for fucking public school. I got to join a secret group to find the truth. Well, why don't the fucking Masons run the public schools then, if that's where the truth is? So we lie. So you're lied to your whole life, and then in public school, and then you're publicly told by the Masons, if you join us, we'll tell you the truth. I wrote that. No comment. Nobody said shit. I know. I might not know what type of bullshit, like, oh, is this oxen shit, or is, you know what I mean? Like, I might not know what type of bullshit I'm smelling, but I can smell bullshit 10 million miles away, man. Yeah, lots of corrupt judges, you bet, Nebulord. Nobody wants to get in on this talk about what's America. The founders already told you all what to do. They said be like rattlesnakes. And I don't see Americans like rattlesnakes anymore. I see them as like docile little bootlickers. Like, oh, I'm sorry, officer. Here, let me lick your boot. That's an American now. And the Nazis used to say, orders are orders. And that's pretty much, that's what I've been told from police, right? They're supposed to protect your rights. So a cop that heard my story should be like, you know what? You know, make a few phone calls. Okay, yeah. No, he's got no record. He's paid support. Judge said he can't see his kids. That cop should overturn the judge's decision and protect my constitutional rights and be like, come on with me. I'm going to give you an armed escort to go get your kid right now, so nobody can make any false allegations against you, say you're harassing anybody, beat you up and kill you and say it was in self-defense and you were crazy. Yep, come on with me. But nope, the cops say to me, well, I need a piece of... I literally heard from, you know, one of the police here recently that stopped to ask... He was asking for somebody that lived here that didn't live here. And I said... and I brought up my situation where I have no criminal record, pay support, you know, to some girl, but because I had kids out of wedlock, which so did she. We both had kids out of wedlock, but somehow it's only the man's fault. That makes every man a rapist. What's that when you go along with something, when you let all these women be the ones to get custody out of wedlock. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the father has to, quote, fight for custody of his own biological child. You are going along with basically admitting that all the men are rapists and force. You know what I mean? And basically should be treated worse than sex offenders. And the woman, you forced them. You know, she didn't have a choice. You forced her to have sex. You're going along with it. You're a feminist. Just admit it. You are a feminist if you go along with that. And I hope God deals with you. You tolerate Anybody who tolerates all these mothers out of having kids out of wedlock and being down with 3, 4, the judge is never saying a word to these women that got 3, 4, 5 kids from different men, just putting them on Section 8 and giving them food, giving them the world, giving them the key to the city. You're a feminist. Just admit it. You're a feminist, and you want children to be abused. And that's why I'm glad complacent, basically. There's another word when you I can't even think of it. I use it all. It's not coerce. It's it's like you are complicit. You know what I mean? You're going along. You're agreeing by going along. But the important part is you're agreeing with it all by going along. And so basically, it's that this country tolerates the Jezebel spirit, and it makes good people like me look insane. Not anymore, though. Nobody's laughing now. Nobody's laughing at me now. All my family and everyone that's like, come on, Stuart. Come on, Stuart. They're all shut. Their fucking pie holes are shut. Their pie holes are shut right now. And I'm laughing. I love it. I love it, man. And you wanted to go along with the Jezebel spirit, and this country makes good people like me look crazy, and it makes dumb losers look cool, basically. And you got these guys, and all you got to do is be a child in a grown person's body with a YouTube channel, and you will get 200,000. YouTube will probably make sure you get 200,000 subs. You understand what I'm saying? People, younger generations that are, I mean, this isn't really for kids. You got to take life is not, freedom and everything is not going to just hand itself over to you. The enemy is not just going to be, you're not going to just do the right thing and think because you're a good person doing the right thing and following all their rules that you're going to go right to the top. No, all those upward ladders of mobility are gone now, and merit is nowhere. One of the things I'm doing with my channel is proving that even if you're talented, nobody cares on YouTube anyway. Like if I'm drawing in real life, people see me drawing, they're like, God damn, man, how come you don't work for Marvel? But when I go on YouTube, it's like crickets, chirp, 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 chirp. And I don't know if it's just because you're watching it on TV, but when people literally see me draw in person, they can't believe it. So basically, Nebula, do you want to come on the show? You can come on if you want. I'll let you call my phone. We can have a chat about it over the phone. I mean, I want to be inclusive here. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I mean, anybody. Do I have like 2 CIA agents listening to me right now, checking out the video before they put it up? I mean, really. I didn't want to I mean, it'd be cool to have somebody else on here, because having another person would they'll think of things that I'm not saying, you know what I mean? And comic skaters it's like they will send the people that destroyed comic books and attack you in the media and say it's all your fault. These quote SJWs, which that word's been taken over now too, because if you are a social justice warrior for real justice, which you won't do because the police will beat you up. Like if one of your friends catches a false bid, and you're just like, oh man, sorry, and you'll let them put your friend in jail. You won't go down and say nothing because the police will beat you up too and throw you in jail, and then you'll be caught up in the system. So everyone's just gonna hide in their houses. I mean, it's just basically how it is, man. And comic skaters, and okay, you don't want to come on, and basically. Comic skaters, you don't understand how organized the Christians got beat. Basically, you all got beat. The churches want to cut out all the negativity. They're kind of that new age philosophy where if you just have a positive attitude, Everything's going to work out for you, which nowadays is called denial because everything's basically become like a trap. Everything's basically a trap now. So basically, it's like a giant mousetrap in this country now. Oops, snap! There goes Joey. You know what I mean? Just everybody going to prison. You know what I mean? The violent offenders are out in 2 years because the cops don't want to deal with them. The cops don't want to deal with the guys that'll actually punch them in the face. You know what I mean? They want the meek, docile little drug addicts. You know what I mean? They want to fill the prisons with drug addicts and that are doing their drugs, and then the guards bring the drugs into the prisons too. I mean, dude, if you even knew. So then basically, it just goes on and on and on, And the comics gators, I'm telling you, you don't even know. The enemy is so organized. Like they took over the churches, everything. With that name it, claim it stuff, where the pastor's got a $67 million jet while there's people in his congregation who are poor, giving them their money. And it's like, there's, the wolves have taken over, and comics gators, you don't understand. They will send people into the comicsgate movement that are already famous artists that will take your money. And dude, man, you have no idea. So you got to be very careful out there what you're doing. You got to find out who the really good people are. And a lot of it you can tell from the storylines they're pushing, and from the the art might be really good, but you got to look really closely to the storylines that they're pushing, and everything's about fun. Oh, we need more comics that are just about fun, which is true. I mean, I thought fun was defeating evil. That was always that's why I liked Captain America and Spider-Man. I didn't read, I didn't collect Dr. Octopus. You know what I mean? I didn't collect the Rhino. I didn't collect the Red Skull comic books. I collected the Captain America. I collected Thor. I collected Conan the Barbarian. I collected comic books that were adventurous, like of good defeating evil and stuff like that. And then but now it's like, oh, it's just about fun, just fun. Well, I thought fun was like good defeating evil myself, and I know there's sometimes you just want goofy mindlessness too. I understand escapism, but I noticed that the people that say that, it's like, yeah, well, that's all it's all about now is just doing just homosexuality, lesbianism, just fun. You know what I'm saying? Just demonic bull crap. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just and basically, I'm not trying to tell anybody what kind of story. I'm telling you, you have to analyze things closely. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you're being told about the type of person you're supporting, and it's like, and I know Americans have been so screwed over too. I feel like they don't even trust anybody anymore. I don't know. So it's like when something good comes along, they can't even recognize it. All right, I'm going to give you an example of that. I've known, a lot of Americans are drug addicts. I mean, come on, there's methadone clinics now. So a lot of Americans are drug addicts. The country's on drugs, basically. Yeah, I said a while back that in 6 months to a year, CG wouldn't be any different from the mainstream. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of times I see a female lead character, which, once again, I'm not against it, but you're just kind of, it's all the time. It's in my face that men are stupid and women are super hot, sexy, and smart. Meanwhile, all the women in America are taking liberal arts degrees and bull crap. They have to beat them over the head with billboards. I can go video a billboard right now, like women can do STEM too. They have to like beat them over the head to go into STEM. But if you go to a university, all the Chinese and Japanese women, they're not, they're not taking liberal arts. They're taking math and science and dressing sexy for their geeky ass boyfriend with glasses. Their little, everyone wants to laugh at Asians like they're dorks and they can't get women. Not anymore. You go to a university and see the geeky little Asian kid with glasses, the skinny little dorky Asian guy, see his hot anime Asian girlfriend that would never go out with a white guy anymore because you're all gangster now. Rap took over this country. The average Asian looks at the average American male like their family would be like, no, he's white trash. American men are gangsters now. They're Hell's Angels and fuck, you know what I mean? And thugs and stuff and whatever. Yes, lack of trust leads to peril. Yeah, and I'm breaking this down. I'm breaking down. There should be 20,000 young men watching this right now. I'm 50 years old. I'm not a seasoned general, but I understand. I'm pretty good. My family's pretty good at war. Okay, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the men in my family have been in war forever. I don't, go all the way back, to Vietnam, Korea, World War II, World War I. And then I go way back, and it's like we were at the battle of it was like one of the bloodiest battles in history where I'm just saying. So, I just it's crazy, but I'm giving it to you. I basically have analyzed the enemy, and I've listened to a lot of TikTok videos. Oh my God, just degenerate, mindless crap. Yeah, and people love it, and Americans love it, man. And they have short attention spans. I might as well be talking Chinese right now. I might as well be talking gibberish to the average American, and it sucks that it's all about entertainment. But here's some entertainment. Check this out. I scribbled this comic book out in like a night or 2 nights or something. Just it had more pages. I lost them, but you know what I mean. There's the bad guys. Yeah, and then I did my own little like back page, and I just this was a long time ago, like back in the 2001. Moontide. Look at that. Moontide is the name of the comic. Killer Axe Comics. That was what. Look at me. I'm gonna make a comic book company, and Moontide's gonna be my first. And it says Killer Axe Comics, issue #1. Look at that. That's hilarious. Oh, and there's another bad guy. It's kind of like Skeletor, but not. He doesn't have a full jaw. He's got a pentagram on his head and stuff. He's a wraith, basically. This is a wraith that they have to go fight. And there's a chick with an energy bow and like crazy armor. And there's an elf with like a big giant scimitar. Oh man, it's just so cool. I'll read you what he's here. It says I can't even read anymore. My mandibles sense the blood of intruders. Bring them to me. They may be the ones our master seeks. As you wish, master. Because apparently there's another page before that, but that's hilarious. I drew like I don't know even why. I just I'm gonna draw a mace shattering or something. I can't even remember. It had to do with something. How did it come to this? Oh, cool. I even wrote a little prologue. How did it come to this? What happened to peace and order? Dark sorcery, black mages, and magic have changed humanity forever. Where do we come from? That's what I wrote, man. Look at that. That is awesome. That is awesome. So buy your first issue of Moontide. Issue number 1. That is so cool, man. Anyway, yeah, just some of my old art hanging around. I love looking at a lot of my old art, man. I get inspired. Oh, here he is right here. Or no, this is a pretty cool piece right here, man. I was still, I was just kind of starting to catch on to inking. Finally. Isn't that pretty tight? I could have just left this blade blank. I think I will. I think I'll just cut that right out and just a big white blade with a little bit of detail on it, and that's all that really would have been needed. I went overboard. I think I went overboard with the sword, but I wanted hardened leather armor all around because it's lighter than metal. You know what I mean? He's more of with studs all over it, basically, or you know what I mean? Big metal gold studs with hardened leather armor, hardened leather boots with, you know what I mean, with plates riveted to them, or both, you know what I mean? A big skull mountain thing in the background. It's a lot kind of like this though. It's almost like I finally look at that. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. Man, see, I'm just seeing that now actually. That's kind of, I finally got it out on paper right there. It's like 2001, 2012 or whatever, 2011. I didn't even date it or sign it. Oh, shame on me. Are you going to go on and share your script with anyone? Pocket Jacks Comics has a writer stream everywhere. Should I do that, Nebulord? If you have advice for me, by all means, you know what I mean? I don't know everything. Yeah, no, it would be cool. I wish I could hook up with some other creative cats, man. Like EVS, Ethan, how come you don't want to hook up? Well, you know what? He's really busy with Cyberfrog, and I wouldn't want to. I'm hard on Ethan Van Sciver, but he's wicked talented, and Cyberfrog is a very novel comic book. So Rainbow Brute. Also, you know what I mean? There's no reason for Ethan Van Sciver to do anything other than what Ethan Van Sciver's doing right now. But man, some of these other cats, I see their projects and I'm like, nah, that's not good. You need to come work with me. You know what I mean? I need to hook up with some good writers, and that I'm like a good writer, but more on a general, like I can lay out the basic plot. I'm not really good at coming up with all these names and you know what I mean, and like specifics. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with like, okay, this is a general plot. Yeah, Ethan, exactly. The dude that does Shadow Sentry, I'd like to hook up with that guy, but he's already doing Shadow Sentry. And somebody else might want me to do their project, but I want to do, Moontide. No. But if I could find somebody who's really good at writing and somebody who's also either good at penciling. I'm good at penciling. I'm better at penciling. I'm not a master yet, but I'm pretty good if I really want to. And so basically, I really need a good inker. You know, someone who's got a good eye for just taking somebody's basic pencils, even if they're not the best penciler, and like adding their own flair to it and making it look good. Because I'm good with structure and anatomy and all that, but once I got to go in there and ink all these backgrounds, I did rough out a background because I didn't want to ruin. Here, I'll show you this. Like this panel right here, or is it this panel right here? I did the right when my tooth started bothering me. Basically, I was starting this panel like a week ago. But I'll tell you what, man, there's more white out on this handle. Basically, this handle, and I don't know, certain parts of his neck and jugular area and stuff like that, and you know, really for I don't know, like basically the grip he's got, I didn't plan it out enough, and when I started inking the control grip that he's got, I messed it all up. It just turned into a big mess. And then I whited it out, messed it, and then inked it, messed it up even more. But I finally, you know, there's more white out on there. I know I'm showing you my mistakes, but it's funny. Because I'll tell you what, my main goal is to get the comic book done. So if I had to cut another panel out and glue it and draw it right and glue it down on this page so that I could scan it or print it, I would do that. I'm not going to stop because I'm not going to redo a whole page because I fucked up one panel. You understand what I'm saying? But I saved it. Thank God. It took me like, I had to wait for it to dry for days. So it took me like 3 days to finish that fucking hand, man. I'm telling you. Plus I'm sick, or it wouldn't have took that long. But man, I was like, oh, my jaw was throbbing, and I had to ink a little, and then get up, walk around, relax my jaw, swish water around, you know. Then I started just realizing, I got to swish water, draw every like 10 seconds. It was just ridiculous. So I was like, F this, man. But that's over now. Thank God. I don't even have any. I think the Novocaine wear off, and I didn't even. I mean, it was so bothering me so bad. It's like my body's glad it's just gone. It's like it's like I don't even feel any pain from her yanking a tooth out of my face. You know what I mean? My point is so after I did that, I was like, oh man, there's no way I'm going to risk going in here. Because you look at this background, he's got a monitor in front of him. He's got like a depth, you know, he's in a submarine, so that's probably sonar and depth finder. You know what I mean? And this is either throttle or whatever. You know what I mean? Blah. And it's there. It's a control. I don't need to explain every goddamn thing, right? But you know, then there's like cabinets up here, and then there's a light, and then there's a big arch right there because he's sitting up. He's sitting up in here. You know what I'm saying? At the helm. So there's a big arch window. You can see there's arched windows on it. So I roughed out a panel, and I want to practice the background, and you know, minus him. You know what I mean? Because he's already drawn. I got to go in there, but it's not too bad. I'm getting better. You know what I mean? I got the monitor in front of him. This is a clear screen. I tried to see if I can make this a regular monitor. You tell me, is that coming across that he's reading a clear, like plex, you know what I mean? Like a clear monitor screen that you can see through, and there's like a little dot where the position of the enemy is on there or whatever. But there's the light in the background. And then so the only thing I'm having trouble with right now is this window. And I think I'm going to do full lines through here, except to right around the light, just to gray out this background a little more, because there's not going to be any color, and I want him to stand out. It looks almost like the right light's like right there, so I want to push this wall back. But I'm getting better, you know what I mean? I'm getting better at backgrounds and all that stuff. Yeah, well, for now it's aquatic. It's opening up Nebulord as aquatic, but they're air, land, and sea. They have. I get into the storyline to where, okay, God basically he prays a lot. He prays a lot to God. He's what you would call a Christian, if that's the name, the label. If that's the label you want to put on it, he prays to the Creator. I guess that's called being a Christian. And a lot, and this is way before they have all this technology right here, and 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 so basically he prays to God, and God tells him where there's an opening in the ocean floor, in a dream, uh, to where that goes down under the earth, in the under earth, and so he wakes up and he goes on, he looks on satellite. Sure enough, there's this big hole. So so him and some men build a submarine and a bunch of gear, and they have weapons and everything, and they go down in there, and they have hover. Dude, I get into it. They have hover bikes and everything. This is like pre. This would be like a pre. This would be me during this series doing flashbacks to where they talk about things in the past, that how they got to where they are, and so basically they go down into these under caverns with a submarine, and they come up like in a under a mountains, and basically in an underground, kind of like the Slee Stacks, you know what I mean, like up in an underground like cavern, and basically God tells them when to go to, by the way, when to go in there, and because the enemy's going to be away, the queen's going to be away, and they can just take in what they need to, and so from the enemy, so they go down there, and I'm giving away a lot of my plot, but it doesn't even matter, because yeah, if there's going to be a colorist, it depends on how much money my if I do, I'm not, I want to do print, what do you call it, print on demand type thing or something. But if I do that, then I got to have money to hire a colorist up front, and I don't have that. Which I've already kind of thought this all out. Which means which means it has, if I want to not do the Indiegogo route and do print on demand and try to give a more reasonable price for a comic book than $25 for one issue, then basically I got to have money for the colorist up front, right? And unless I got a decent amount of money, I'm not going to find a good colorist. Maybe if you're a good colorist and you're watching and you're sub to my channel, then why aren't you saying? And you don't have work, then why aren't you saying something? So it's so hard just to get. Comic books are so lucrative and so cool, and it's just so hard to get people into comic books. But people love a good story and love a good character, But anyway, and so otherwise I got to go the Indiegogo route, or the Kickstarter route, and then I'm getting to the point, I basically this tooth thing slowed me down, but I planned on already having the cover and about 2 pages done to put up on what is it, that online comic webtoons or whatever, and if I wanted to do an Indiegogo, and I could scan the cover in a couple pages and give the plot and the storyline, maybe throw in some concept art. But yeah, I would work with a colorist. Then I wouldn't have to do so much cross hatching, I guess. You're right. So yeah, at least, so I basically did this all as practice. So probably tonight, maybe I'll do it live. I'm gonna go in and ink this area right out, and I'm just avoiding the clouds in the ocean, because that's the hardest part in this whole first page. Is and I got to try to find the perfect bird's eye view of the ocean at nighttime. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, but I might be able to find something on the internet. We'll see. Oh, yeah, Webtoons. I'm going to be up on Webtoons very soon. I'm just going to give a spoiler away. I'm going to try to promote it. We'll see how it works, Nebulord. People that I know love it. They're like, that's awesome, dude. They're just like, yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes, I guess. I was going to say something else. I can't remember. Oh, David Finch. I'm not saying David Finch is like, yeah, buy his comic book, but no, David Finch didn't say anything bad about it. He said, that's cool. You know what I mean? He said, that's cool. I was like, cool. David Finch said, that's cool about my comic book, man. You know what I mean? I wish Dave Finch would come on over and get into indie comic books, because he could probably make so much more money than he could ever with Marvel. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Dave. You want to work on, come on, David, Mr. Finch, you want to work on Archangels of Wrath with me? I'm sure he could do some crazy monsters, and, I'm sure he could really kick it up a notch. But, yeah, maybe, hopefully maybe some of the more the pros will, eventually get used to me being around. I'm not here to take it. I don't want to, I'm not here to, I'm not trying to, have a clash. I'm not trying to clash with everybody, but I do tend to try to call things how I see it. And if I'm a little bit curmudgeonly, well, prove me wrong, right? It's like if I'm not even given a chance, man, it's like, damn, you know what I mean? You don't even get a chance. I'm one of the, you have to understand, I am one of the most reliable people ever. Until this pandemic, I worked in the medical field for 18 years now, I think, maybe 17, 18 years now, dealing with people's credit card numbers, super private medical information and procedures that, I have to abide by the Hippocratic Oath. I can get in big trouble. If I was an unreliable piece of trash, I would not have had a job working at a clinic doing medical billing for the past 18 years. The owner, the owner basically trusts me so much. You know what I mean? He discloses everything. I'm not even the manager, but the owner trusts me so much that he divulges almost everything to me. And any new if he wants something done right, if the owner of my company, well, the manager, because his wife was the actual owner, but she's also a professor, so she's usually teaching, or I don't know, doing speeches or whatever, while her husband runs the business. But anytime he had a client that he wanted to impress and make sure everything was done right, who do you think he went to? Me. I am so reliable. You have no idea how reliable I am. I am bang about business. I am about business, man. People have literally said that to me before. Stuart, man, you are no bullshit. You are, who was it? Lars, this kid in this town. He knew me for about a week. And we were talking about girls, and I was like, yeah, I don't even know why I don't have a girlfriend. He's like, Stuart, you don't have a girlfriend because you are no bullshit. You tolerate zero bullshit. Therefore, he even knew, because that's why I had no girlfriend, because I tolerate zero bullshit. And women don't want a man that doesn't tolerate any bullshit. They want to be able to get away with shenanigans in this country. But basically, I am known, dude, I remember one time I was in college. I shouldn't have been there because I don't have the money, and they're run by liberals, and liberals hate me. But I clash with the conservatives too, because they want to lick boots and throw everybody in jail for pot or something. So basically, never, but it's okay to have legal drugs screwing everybody up, and alcohol, sip their alcohol, but then cheer on the police taking your kids away because you smoked a joint or something. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I don't get along with the right either a lot. But I was in the cafeteria, and the whole cafeteria is in uproar, and I'm sitting there like doing it, and this black kid was like, "Yo, man, he's like, this kid's about business right here." He's just like, everything stopped, man. He was like, "This kid's about business, man, pure business right here." But that literally happened to me in college, man. And it's true. He called it correctly. That dude called it correctly. He knew. He could see it. So if you don't back me, it's like you're lost. I will get comics done. Good comics, not crap. I won't push crap in your face. I won't force feed you crap. But anyway, yeah, we'll see if I can raise any money or not, or what route I go. Let me get these first few pages done and stop talking about it. My tooth's better now. I'm pretty sure I can probably crank out these pages now. I was like, okay, time to crank out some pages, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, my jaw, you know what I mean? But that's all taken care of. And I just wanted to rant and talk about how serious, Americans, you have everything you need. It's called your Second Amendment. And that doesn't mean you got to go out shooting everybody. It means like, hey, quit with all the bullshit. I have a gun. You understand? I can use my gun too. You understand? That's what it, so quit with all the bullshit. And it means saying to your captors, look, nice try, quote officials, unquote officials, and quote experts, unquote experts, but you fucked everything up. It's our turn now. So go away. You know what I mean? Because we got our guns too. That's what saves the country. You guys have everything. Americans, you have everything you need to turn this around. If you don't use it, I'm going to end it with this. Like Benjamin Franklin said, you deserve every bit of it. And he that's a paraphrase, but like he said, I think it was Benjamin Franklin, you get the amount of tyranny you put up with. So have a good day, and go comicsgate. Let's put out good comics, and let's support good artists and good storylines, and you know what I mean, and keep the industry going, I guess, for young men. I'm getting old, but young men that are up and coming that want to either read comics or create them. And so or stay safe, basically. Stay safe, and stay free. Freedom.